Hello, this is Ken, your podcast preacher, and I want to welcome you back to Deep Waters. This podcast is brought to you by Applied Strengths Ministry, where we believe working together in our strengths is the effect of working out the will and calling of God in our lives. The title of this message is Drinking, Gambling, and Sexing Responsibly. This is a multi-episode series in which this is episode 4 of 6. Now we know even fishermen have been about this business for many a year. You try one lure or type of bait to catch one type or species of fish. One failed marketing campaign after another until, whoops, look at that, we got a bite. Trial and error leads the fishermen to developing the right strategy for the fish that they are seeking. I know you're not a fish, and by God, you can make up your own mind about these big three bait industries. But do you think any of those on hooks said the same thing before being seduced by the bait? Hooks, hooks, hooks. And they are hoping you would say that, in fact, they bet on it. They want you to go to war over protecting your rights to be able to choose the hook of your desired choice. Tell me I'm wrong. I knew when I was attracted to their bait what was going on, but I chose to indulge because, well, I'm not like the other floundering fool fish who got hooked. Why, I can chew the bait off the hook without getting caught. I've got mad chew skills, dude. Or so I thought. So how many of us would not throw up if we were presented with a fun drinking commercial after a night of, what would the advertisers say? Drinking irresponsibly? The lure is represented by the other side of the bar. The entertainment, the comedy show, the football game, the frat party, the races, you get my drift. Now, don't you worry none. Some of them CEOs and presidents were drunk too, and even though they knew it is unhealthy for the majority of people, and that doing so creates or magnifies more sin in a man than man can possibly fathom without it, they look forward to the increased sales all the more. The only thing more important to them than the bar is the bar chart. The only thing that separates the two of you is how many zeros your paycheck lacks in comparison to theirs. I guess the obvious question is, what are the social impacts to a system of people who allow unchecked drinking? Not that we should make a law about it. Remember, I'm not trying to change the world or make it better. Not trying to point out the sins of the world. Solve the corrupted corruptibles. Nope. It's an unsolvable problem. In fact, it is on purpose that the entire system exists. And if you don't see it, it's because you don't want to. I remember when I was young, I would hear noises in the night. And so I would cover my head so I didn't have to see the noise. I know, right? Except I still cover my head even as an adult. Don't think that because you don't want to see the system as it is, that it is not on the downhill side of a short existence. Get another drink, it's harmless, and let's drive on. How many tax dollars go into a system that has to deal with over-drinking and the plethora of issues that arise from our, what do they call it? Irresponsibility. How many less jails or paddy wagons would be needed if drinking was manageable? Fires, murders, other addictions, babies to unknown mothers, abortions because, it was just a one-night stand, rapes, child abuses. Wow, Ken, enough. Now, if you're still with me, you might be inclined to say, it seems like you are attributing all societal woes on irresponsible drinking. Wait, I say, wait. There's more. Increased police force required to patrol party-happy streets, colleges, campuses, and, sometimes the whole town. The auto accidents, theft and thievery, muggings, and acts of bullying, not to mention the thousands of other side effects of a drinking society. In truth, the only thing good about it is that the profits are highest to the smallest of industry owners. Now, before the historians come crawling down my chimney, allow me to make some exceptions. Even though what I have brought up is absolutely the truth, beer was a food product at one time. In fact, the Puritans used to drink it as a food source. I believe I have not read of one of the Puritans who paddied down the road to hell for a carb or two. It is also nice to have a nightcap from time to time as long as there is no hook in it for you. Barbless? No hook at all. Don't you wonder what your guts would say right about the first irresponsible drink gully washers down your throat? Still, in all of this, alcohol's not the problem, and whether we had it or not is irrelevant in the large scheme of things. Saved, not saved. What is more important than having an answer to the question hidden in the act of being born again? My guess is that we spend enough money on the entire industry of alcohol, A to Z, the pleasurable to the homeless fish, that we could solve some of the planetary issues. But again, it's not the problem or the answer. So gambling. Yes, it's a play on gambling. I think the statistics show that over 90% of all who win the lottery are broker than when they won. No, I didn't say that they became a broker. Why, that would be a silly mad skill for someone who just won a boatload of money to have. And besides, the industry knows that the lottery is nothing more than a wealth transfer shell game. You win, the business gets their share, for providing the bait. The government gets their share, and because it's such a big share, of course, they are going to ignore the massive conflict of interest for even being involved in the gambling industry anyways, right? And well, wouldn't you? And besides, it creates business opportunities and jobs. How, you might ask? Well, now someone has got to take care of those who go broke after they were broke, but before they were rich. Someone has to repossess what material possessions they were borrowing. After all, they didn't know that without knowing how to handle wealth, they were only borrowing the stuff. Fortunately, they can fall back on a debt consolidation business that can help them to regain control of the falling airplane. But wait, now they are addicted because, well, once you have tasted the chicken of the sea, you cannot go back to the old ways of doing things. So you believe that if you did it before, you can do it again. Now, if you were an athlete, I would offer kudos for this type of thinking, but not so much with the concept of having a stare down with the worm again. And who came up with the idea of calling tuna chicken? Unlike a lot of things, tuna don't taste like chicken no matter how you char it. When my dad was able, we would go to Eagle Lake every year, at least once a year, and have a family reunion. I will always think my dad a hero because he had a peaceful fearlessness about him. When everyone else stood aside a bug-resistant tent, meat bees would come out by the hundreds when he was cleaning the fish. They would be all over his hands, the fish, the utensils, and in all that time I had never known him to have ever gotten bit by even one bee. He would clean away as the whole hive seemed to form summertime mittens on his hands. The exact opposite of this is what happens when people come into money through the lure of gambling. Now, I know this has been an issue throughout all of time, and that money has always been drawn out of the bees of greed, but what I want to show you is the relationship changes that occur when someone in a family trips on $1 million. You win and the whole family is entitled to some of that cash. Just ask them. But of course, you would think no other way about them had they been the one who tripped on the money bags first, right? It doesn't matter that they didn't consider you family. Right up to the moment they got their text of how their luck just changed forever through your windfall. Nope. You bring your poverty mindset to their front door and beg your way into their wallet. You say things like, "Don't you know what I've been through?" Or "Things are really tough now." Or "I could use a little help, and since you have so much." And there are other things like, "If it was me, I would give it to you." I am sure as the no's accumulate, so does the emotional energy of the excuses as to why you are entitled to some of their newfound wealth. Perhaps some might even break into a "I feel the Holy Ghost on this moment" sing-song scenario. You see, we are a family, and family takes care of its own, brother. Money reveals the hidden intent of the heart and the true authenticity of relationships. You see, the toxicity was always there. It just needed a bite of the Benjamin to show its existence. Let me tell you what I'm not trying to do. Withhold. I'm not trying to be non-offensive. I know that this message will offend because it is loaded with truth. If it was all lies, then why see to it at all? I'm not trying to expose those who make the bait, sell the bait, dig the ponds, collect the fish back, and fill the ponds. Nope, they expose themselves by their actions. What they rely on is for you to remain hopeful in their brand of bait, and that it won't have the same effect on you as it did on your kin. And even worse, that you would believe that it's no problem to partake, or that all of the excessive partaking is on you. But neither is a revelation of this issue. Well, that's it for today. Remember, it's not what you find wrong or disagree with regarding these messages, but what you can take away from it. Together we can do more to impact the kingdom than if we work alone. Let's flip the script and kill still the works of the enemy and create space for the light of light to shine through into people's lives. Plant a seed and click on the like and subscribe button. Let's build this ministry together. Thanks, and see you next time in Deep Waters.